everybody's like looking very weird and very crazy. You are scratching peoples with exploring yourself in such a deep way.
This trans-identified father is both a porn star and into extreme body modification. He has around 50,000 followers on YouTube. He has amputated parts of his fingers, is into heavy BDSM and fetish play, and yet the only thing I really feel inclined to talk about is the first thing I mentioned. He is a father. Now, we've talked about whether or not it is okay for children to transition on this channel before. One thing we have never spoken about is how it affects the children if their parent is the one transitioning.
Even my daughter get asked in the school, did your dad have his penis tattooed? She was telling me that very embarrassed, but I say, you can say this proud. Yes!
Listen, I am all for my body, my choice, but I also think there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, how is what I'm doing to my body and how I'm living my life affecting my kids? Is this mentally healthy for my child to have to deal with, to put up with this ridiculous bullying in school? Of course, the bullying is not okay, but we know kids are horrible little beings. And this kid's mom and dad are both porn stars.
We have this big porn studio, we have the big porn company, my wife is a porn star. In our society, most people, they relate porn to like people do it for the money, and yeah, there are peoples, they really love it. We really love it.
And not only is this kid's dad a porn star, fully tattooed, he also cross-dresses and is somehow identifying as trans now.
And it's very interesting to see, especially with other males, how they react, and it's almost as they are worried about their own manliness. Male and female, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap?
Honestly, the only reason I'm commenting on this at all is because this person and his wife have a kid together. How will this all affect the kid? Positively, negatively, not at all? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of things that affect people negatively in their life, fume is a good way to break a bad habit. There is an easier way to stop. It fills the void in a natural, guilt-free way. Instead of vapor and chemicals, fume uses natural flavored air. Your fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing while breaking your bad habit. I did a taste test for this video and my favorite flavor is actually the raspberry lemon. Fume has served over 150,000 customers, thousands of success stories, and there is no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Go and check them out at tryfume.com/Ariel or scan the QR code on screen right here and use code Ariel to get 10% off the Journey Pack today. The Fume Solano actually just launched this past November 6th. You can upgrade your Journey Pack to the Solano Pack to enjoy the premium walnut barrel and onyx black coated mouthpiece that has a smoother finish and still get 10% off. Go and support companies that support freedom of speech and this channel. Their link is in the description below of this video, and use code Ariel for 10% off your purchase today. I asked specifically because I know at least one person, and I'm sure there are many of you out there, let me know if there are, their dad transitioning has affected them in an extremely negative way. I interviewed her recently. Her dad transitioned in front of her when she was just 11 years old back in the 1980s. You're gonna see that in just a little bit. I wanna talk about this a little bit more first.
Being a ladyboy, transforming to a female is very exciting for me. And honestly, I don't know where the line is, where it stops, where it ends up. That full thing till the point you're satisfied with it, satisfied with the experience, satisfied with the outcome of it.
Now listen, I don't know the entirety of this person's story, the way that they parent. What I do see is this very well might end up being a case of the children parenting parents. I mean, the dad is literally holding a stuffed animal and calling himself a ladyboy. I am just curious if the daughter's okay, or the son. You guys know my friend Buck Angel, he's a trans guy, he's been on my channel many times. And what you might not know is that he is a parent. He's also looking into fostering. I knew that he would have a lot to say about all of this, so I sat him down and had him watch an interview of the woman that her dad had transitioned when she was 11 back in the UK, back in the 80s. Here's what Buck had to say about all of this.
For my father, being a woman was to be the point of being a woman was to be attracted to men. And if I wasn't attracted to men, then I wasn't fulfilling being a woman.
Oh, is she the trans woman?
No, her dad.
The Children of Transitioners website. I'm slightly unusual in that my dad transitioned in the 80s. What was going on for me was really rare. and I didn't know any other kids that this was happening to.
Totally.
I was 11. I actually lived with my dad while he transitioned. So he had the electrolysis and he went through the full thing. He had the operation. He told me he had a woman's brain and a man's body. He came out and kind of introduced himself in his new persona. A lot of makeup, of course, because he had facial hair. You know, he was trying to cover up.
Wow.
Classic attempt to
pass. Not like they do now, which is where they wear beards.
Oh my God, you put that.
Yeah. Like I'm going to have an operation, and that was kind of really, really big deal, and we had to save up money for it. It's horrible to say, but you know, autogynephilia is a narcissistic condition.
Okay.
Your dad has fallen in love with himself, doesn't have a lot of time.
Oh, so does she think that her dad is an AGP?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. The other thing that I think is quite interesting. So she is 11 years old and her dad decides that he wants to be a woman and starts to transition in front of their 11-year-old child. That's a difficult one for me.
Yeah.
Because I think of myself as being a parent, right? And if I don't know if people know, my child doesn't know that I'm a transsexual man.
Okay.
And for a reason, because I adopted my kid at the age of 6. So he's always seen me as this guy, right? So so I transitioned to live my life as a man. Right. So my point being is I want my son to see me as, a man. I don't need to explain all of this stuff to him. It'll be confusing. Right. So anyway, that being said, I find it quite fascinating that a man would transition in front of their 11-year-old child to become a woman. There's something about that feels a little bit not abusive, but I'm not sure if it's healthy, because a child now is seeing their dad become their mother, and now this person who's now an adult telling me that they think that their dad is AGP. So that's what the child got from it, right? The child's not getting, that's my new mom, that's my dad.
You can't divorce them and find another partner. You know, this is your dad. The previous years, I was living a lie. You know, that wasn't me. That was like someone else.
Right.
But that had been my dad. You know, I've had people online say to me, your dad just changed clothes. Get over it. That's not quite what happened.
No.
This is a life-altering decision.
Also, that's not fair for other people to do that. This is this person's experience with that. Right. As a child and now growing up with this situation, you can see it's traumatized this child. There's no doubt in my mind. And I think it could traumatize a child, and that's not transphobic, by the way.
Also, because I don't remember if I put it in that edit, but her mom wasn't in the picture. So now her mom was like a drug addict. I don't remember what she says.
Oh, wait, let me see that.
If she, for you,
I don't remember if she said.
But for the people that are around you, as far as people that are not people around you, like immediate, like cousins or something or friends, but people that are dependent on you.
Yeah.
Somebody that had married you, somebody that is a direct descendant.
We were the weird family. My mother was a bit crazy. My dad was dressing up as a woman and walking around the town at night. And I didn't know because I was a little kid. We were being treated in a strange way. My friends at school were not allowed to come back to my house. There was a lady next door.
Oh my God. See, I knew my mom's a crazy person. No, and also we were the weird family of the neighborhood. And also kids weren't allowed to come back to her house. That actually gave me like goosebumps in a good way. It's very sad because
in the 80s.
This is so sad because you see here now. I understand the struggle of the trans woman, of the dad wanting. I understand the struggle, but here's the problem I have: when you decide to have children, okay, and you take that upon that situation, you've got to deal with that until that child is old enough to move out of the house. I personally don't believe that person should have transitioned in front of their child, because I do believe that it caused some trauma for this person. And not only that, but the whole neighborhood. And everyone is like, that's the...
In the 80s, there was no internet.
There was no internet.
So go online and make friends. Oh,
I'm telling you,
I kitchen accident, like with a knife. She was chopping and and she was bleeding, right? And it was awful. And she went out of her house, and rather than come next door to us, she went all the way around our house to get help.
See? Because she...
It's a little drastic. Like, it's not that... But who knows what people are thinking? Like,
in the 80s...
Thinking, I don't want to catch the gay. I don't want to catch the trans. Like,
that's right.
So as I was talking about my dad at the time, he's going away for an operation, and I'm a bit worried. And they all thought it was a hysterectomy.
Oh,
my
God.
And when you talk to trans widows, the decision for the man to come out as trans seems to happen around childbirth and pregnancy in their partner, that's something I think there's a book recently about.
Well, there's the AGP part. Like it happened when this stuff started to come up when she was born, maybe,
Yes.
and somehow that triggers something in these particular AGP trans women. It triggered. That's why they're all saying they get their period.
Right.
That's why they're all saying they get pregnant. Normal trans women, like the ones I know, like Blair White, are never gonna say that. Saying they get pregnant and they have period cramps. I'm like, this is so weird. We've never seen this in our community. It's literally AGP.
It's a different thing.
It's a totally different thing.
And her husband was like, I'm a transsexual. The autogynephiles tend to transition later. They often have children.
That's true.
Bigger than I am now. It's really, really big.
Yep.
I had an eating disorder really, really early. And my dad sat me down and he said, Emma, if you don't lose weight, no man will ever want to have sex with you.
What?
And that, for my dad...
I think that he was probably projecting.
Yeah, he was totally projecting.
The point of being a woman was to be attracted to men. And if I wasn't attracted to
Wow.
men...
If I wasn't attracted to men, I wasn't a woman.
That's
He
AGP.
was seeing it, what a woman meant from his perspective.
The thing about autogynephilia is kind of his sexism. It's a fetish with females about
It
female
is.
submission.
I literally have a video titled, and it was about my friend who's trans, a trans woman, like legitimately a trans woman. I don't think she's a gynecologist, like legitimately has gender dysphoria, is not a fetish for her.
No.
So I do personally think they're two separate things. In Iran, if you have relationships or sex with trans women, societally, you're not seen as gay because you're seen as the guy.
Isn't that interesting?
Thing.
I've been saying it for a million years. Iran will pay for your sex change because they're homophobic people. It's not because they're pro-trans.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with, we don't like homos. We'll change you to a man or a woman and no one will ever know.
Yep.
It's the most transphobic, homophobic thing you could ever do. But people are always like, well, in Iran, you can get a sex change. I'm like, there's a reason for that.
Right. Why?
Why? They want to literally eliminate anything that has to do with gay. So that being said, do you kind of see a little bit of something like that happening here? I do.
100%.
When you start saying kids are trans over anything else, that on some level is homophobia. It's transing the gay away. These kids don't know who they are. It's a very powerful video you have here. And that's what's, I just personally disagree with anyone who's struggling with their transness and you have kids. You better think about what that will do to your child, especially at 11 years old. That is not something that is actually normal. This isn't normal, by the way.
Right.
I'm not normal. I have an actual disorder that I wish upon nobody. And that's the problem with the trans community. They're not being honest about the disorder. I would have been rather born a man.
Of course.
100%.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, which I know you did, give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys back here on this channel next Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, keep calling out the bullshit. Bye.